The Summer League has been very interesting this year. And we got our first look at a new unicorn in the league. We're talking Victor Wembanyama. Shout out to our sponsors at C4. Always giving me the perfect energy and the perfect boost no matter the occasion. Whether I'm creating videos, I'm on the court, or I'm in the gym. Perfect drink. Excellent source of B vitamins, natural energy. It boosts your metabolism, supports fat loss, and it sharpens your mental focus. So make sure y'all check out the new C4 energy drink. It's the Smart Energy. I really like the strawberry guava flavor. It's a really good flavor. The Summer League has been absolutely bananas. It's been crazy. I haven't seen this many people in the Summer League game since Zion Williamson. The hype behind this Summer League and these Summer League games have been crazy. We have a new unicorn in Victor Wembanyama, aka Wemby, who definitely showed everyone that he means business in the NBA. When we think about new age unicorns, when we think about unicorns in this day and age, when we talk about the modern NBA, we think of guys like Bobo, we think of guys like Kristaps Porzingis, and now we're thinking about Wemby. And Wemby, hey, let me tell y'all first, I believe the hype. I definitely believe that this guy, Victor Wembanyama, can be the next up and coming great unicorn in this league. This guy does it all. He can put the basketball on the ground. He can protect the rim. Of course, he needs to work a little bit on his size and being able to bang down low in the NBA. You know, of course, the guy is only 19 years old, so he still has a few years to grow into his grown man body and build up their strength. But I definitely think that he means business and can contribute night in and night out. Also, his touch. He has a really nice touch around the rim, and he can make really tough baskets. And in his first game in the NBA Summer League, he actually disappointed a few people. He had 9 points in his first game, 8 rebounds, but he had 5 blocks. So when you really think about the upside and what Victor Wembanyama can do on the basketball court, in my opinion, he showed what he can do. He showed that he's going to take tough shots, and whether or not those tough shots go in or not, you know, it's a make or miss league. So you're gonna see some nights where you have really good shooting performances, and then other nights you're gonna have bad shooting performances. So you really have to understand that throughout the course of an 82 game season, things are going to even out. And the shots that he was taking, I'm actually surprised that a guy 7'5" is taking those shots. But when you really think about it, his ability to be able to score on 3 levels is very impressive. I'd like to see him post up a little bit more, get more shots around the basket. But ideally, what I really wanted to see Victor Wembanyama do, he did. He rebounded the basketball and he protected the rim. So he ended up with 8 rebounds and 5 blocks. 5 blocks in an NBA game or 5 blocks in any game, period, is actually a pretty big deal. So his ability to change shots around the rim, and do a little bit of everything on the floor. I was very impressed with his showing in that first game. Although some critics and some people might look at it and be like, hey, he was supposed to score more baskets and more points. He's a 19-year-old playing in his first NBA Summer League, playing in his first ever NBA game. And all these fans are coming to watch him. So it was definitely a carnival and a show with the amount of media and press that was covering him. I think he also had like Britney Spears following him around while he was in Vegas. The Britney Spears stands have actually been at Victor Wembanyama's neck, which I think is a good thing for the kid. You know, you got to go through this type of adversity when it comes to the media, when it comes to fans, when it comes to trash talk, when it comes to coming to the U.S. market and playing in the NBA. You know, you're going to get a lot of press, you're going to get a lot of coverage, and you actually might not have as much privacy as you had overseas. So his first showing was a little scary for some people, but for me, I saw a lot of bright spots in that. But his second showing, I feel like the fans of the NBA really got to see what Victor Wembanyama can do. He put up an amazing stat line of 27 points, 12 rebounds, and followed it up with 3 blocks. So seeing what he can do on the offensive end, seeing his offensive productivity increase in that second game, I definitely think it proved a lot of his critics wrong. But it also was good enough to have the San Antonio Spurs say, hey, we're going to shut down Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the Summer League. We've seen everything that we needed to see. We picked him number 1 for a reason. We wanted to get his feet up under him, get his feet set, see what he can do in the NBA system with other prospective NBA players, other NBA talent. and he definitely proved that he can hang in an NBA game. Next, let's talk about a guy who might have been my favorite in the draft. We talk about Scoot Henderson, a guy who's NBA ready already, heading into the league. You see, got that grown man body. He plays a little bit like Russell Westbrook, plays with a lot of intensity and energy. He played for the G League Ignite, and he definitely put people on notice this past season that, hey, I mean business and I should be the top player in the draft. In the NBA Summer League, he definitely came out to prove that he should have went higher in the draft. He fell to number 3 to Portland Trail Blazers, which, when you really think about it, was actually probably the perfect situation for him to fall into. You know, think about the Charlotte Hornets, you know, trying to play with LaMelo might have been an issue. With Portland looking to rebuild and looking to move on from the Damian Lillard saga, Scoot Henderson fell into the right situation. He definitely showed in the Summer League that he means business and he's going to be able to contribute at a high level with the pro level game in the NBA. In his first game, he had 15 points and 6 assists before injuring his shoulder. The shoulder injury should not be much of a concern to fans or Portland Trailblazer fans when it comes to his ability to stay on the court, his durability, his ability to stay away from injuries throughout his career. I think that the shoulder injury was just a tweak, and the Portland Trailblazers were playing it safe by, you know, shutting him down for the rest of the game. I think that he showed and he proved enough to be shut down for the rest of the Summer League, and the Portland Trailblazers definitely were on that page, and they actually shut him down for the rest of the Summer League and said, hey, we've seen everything that we need to see. His game is very polished. He gets his teammates involved. He knows how to distribute the basketball. He can score on all 3 levels. His jump shot was looking really good. He was attacking the basket really well. And I think that that's all we have to say about Scoot Henderson. This guy definitely is the real deal. And we might look at this draft a couple of years later, and he actually might be a steal at the number 3 spot. Moving on, we got to look into Brandon Miller, a guy who did go to college. And he had a really good 3 games to start off in the NBA or the NBA Summer League. He averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds, which really showed that he means business. One thing that he has to look out for is foul trouble. Brandon Miller had a pretty high foul count in a lot of these games, and you can't foul out in the Summer League. So I think that he needs to worry about getting that under control, and also his shooting percentage. He shot a lot of shots, and his shooting percentage might not have been as high as it probably could have been. I really want to see him grow and progress. I think he's in a very good situation with the Charlotte Hornets right now, being a forward, being able to contribute right now, right away for his team. Touching on a couple of other guys that played in the NBA Summer League, let's look at Keegan Murray. We already know what Keegan Murray can do. High-level pro, being able to contribute to the Sacramento Kings organization early as a rookie. He's a guy that shouldn't have been in the Summer League, in my opinion. But when you think about it, some of the guys that are hungry and thirsty to be able to stay fresh and, you know, keep their reps high, I actually admire that, because he actually probably could have asked the Kings organization to play in the Summer League just so he can stay fresh and he can figure out his footing and what he's going to do this season. But we already know what Keegan Murray is going to do. It's going to be a high-level pro, a guy who can shoot the basketball well. I feel like Keegan Murray was working on other elements of his game in the Summer League this year, so it was good to see him there. And then one guy that I was really excited to see get back on the floor that I think could have been a Rookie of the Year this last year was Chet Holmgren. So when we look at Chet, he's coming off a foot injury, so his ability to get back on the floor and play for Oklahoma City Thunder, contribute, was a big sign, a good sign for this organization that he's healthy. Chet Holmgren looked very poised and looked like he can make a run at Rookie of the Year for this coming season. I like his game. He's a guy that can score on all 3 levels, can shoot the basketball, can put the ball on the ground. He's similar to Victor Wembanyama. When you think about unicorns in this day and age, I feel like Chet Holmgren is in the same conversation as Victor Wembanyama, Kristaps Porzingis, Bol. Chet Holmgren actually fits that prototype really well, and he's been one of those guys that was highly touted all the way through high school, showed what he can do in college. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be a really tough team to match up against with him coming back and all the young core that they have. So good to see Chet Holmgren in the Summer League, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Another guy, you know, in this year's Summer League that was actually a surprise in my opinion. I didn't know too much about Nick Smith Jr., but he's looking like he's going to be a good 1-2 punch with Brandon Miller. Their work in the summer league together was really good, and that really shows that the Charlotte Hornets are going to have a really good young core moving forward into these next couple of years and next couple of seasons. I think they have a really good foundation to build off of, with Jordan selling the majority stake of the Charlotte Hornets. He's still a part of the ownership, but they're going to move in a new direction, and I think that with the new direction of their ownership group and this young core, that the Charlotte Hornets actually have a really bright future. Last but not least, let's move into the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are a team that have a very good young core. They haven't been able to really convert that young core into wins or any productivity in the NBA season. But one of the real bright spots that we saw this summer league was Jabari Smith Jr. He was making a lot of noise, scoring at a high level. He had a couple of 30 balls during this summer league, and he really scored it at a high level. He's going to be a really good teammate and a really good complement to Tor'i Easton. So Tor'i Easton and Jabari Smith Jr. really look like they can be a good staple for this young core for the Houston Rockets, and that they mean business. They're young, but they're ready. And I'm excited to see what the Houston Rockets are going to do around Jabari Smith Jr. I love how he defends. I love the energy that he brings on both ends of the floor. And I think that he has a very bright future. A couple other guys we can touch on from this summer league. I want to talk a little bit about Kobe Buffkin. Kobe Buffkin was a lottery pick, number 15 for the Atlanta Hawks. Had a rough start to the summer league, but really started to find his footing as the summer league progressed. Was able to, play the primary guard position, which is something that he didn't necessarily do as much, or he wasn't required to do so much ball handling for the Michigan Wolverines this past season. Although he was a playmaker, now he's looking as a pro that he's going to be a primary playmaker for a lot of different teams. His shot struggled, but again, with a lot of these guys, you got to look at their ability to be able to adjust to the NBA game, the NBA ball, the NBA distance. Jabari Smith Jr. is actually a player that you can look at last summer league that didn't perform or shoot as well as he would have liked, but this year he scored at a very high rate. So you got to give some of these guys a chance to get their feet set in the league and playing under this speed and this pace and stuff like that. And I think Kobe Buffkin is another guy that you guys should watch out for this year. And then there was a bunch of other high-level talent. We had another guy by the name of Kobe for the LA Clippers, the 30th pick, who also showed that he can score at a high level. There are a few other guys, a couple other young talent that we can look at, but I also want to bring notice to another LA Clipper player, Xavier Moon. Xavier Moon has showed all summer league that he deserves a roster spot on somebody's team. Xavier Moon was a player that has been looked at as a summer league MVP. So shout out to Xavier Moon. Big shout out to Xavier Moon, because it's also one of my teammates for the Drew League, and so he will be playing with Tough Age, and I will be able to play with him this summer. And I know what he can do. He can do a little bit of everything on the court. He's a bucket, scoring all three levels, going to rebound, get assists. It's going to score at a high level with really good efficiency. Let's talk about some of the great plays from this summer league. Victor Wembanyama had his welcome to the NBA moment as Kai Jones soared over him for a ferocious alley-oop slam, and that play was absolutely crazy. Welcome to the NBA, Wemby. Trey Mann, his poster against the Jazz was crazy. And then Isaiah Mobley, the brother of Evan Mobley, had a crazy poster against the Brooklyn Nets. He's also another guy to watch out. He's doing it on both ends of the floor. And when you think about the Cavs and their young core, you got to think about the steal of the draft, in my opinion, Emoni Bates. That's a guy who's had a tough time, finding his footing in the college ranks, figuring out where he was going to be. He was in Memphis for a while, Eastern Michigan. Everyone knew, ever since Emoni Bates has been younger, that this guy is a bucket and he's a bona fide pro. So still of the draft goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers with their pickup of Emoni Bates. Emoni Bates can show that he can score on three levels, got some great defensive plays. He struggled with his shot early on in the summer league, but as it progressed, as he got his feet under him, as he learned the game a little bit more and played with this pace, that's a guy who we know is a bucket. So don't be surprised when he's out for the Cavaliers, being, a sleeper star for them. The Summer League did not disappoint. I always love being a part of the NBA Summer League and the content and being in that environment. There's a lot of guys that I didn't name. Drop a comment below on who you think should be included in this list or who we should be talking about more. Make sure y'all stay tuned to all latest NBA news, buzz, steals, trades, all that good stuff. I'm gonna bring that stuff to you guys all season long, so make sure y'all stay tapped in, turn on post notifications, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that bell right there. We'll talk to y'all soon, and if y'all see me on the streets, make sure y'all say what up. Peace.